This video was made possible by Wix. If you are ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics to try out one of their premium plans right now. Millennials, also referred to as Generation Y, are the generational group who follow Generation X and are typically categorized as people born between 1980 to the mid-1990s. Millennials are also sometimes referred to as Echo Boomers due to a major surge in birth rates in the 1980s and 90s. Generation Z, or Gen Z, is the generational group that came after the Millennials, born between the mid-1990s up to the mid-2000s. Generation Z is also referred to as the I Generation, iGen, or Post-Millennials. How do these generations compare? That's what we'll be looking at today, in this episode of the Infographic Show, Millennials versus Generation Z. Though these two groups sit side by side on the generation ladder, the expansion of the internet and the leaps that have been made with the digital revolution has seen them exposed to a host of different experiences. Add to that the influence of parents from different generations, and we have plenty of scope for differences in attitude and behavior. We've reviewed what researchers have said, so we can bring you our list of 10 ways these generations compare and differ. Let's take a look. Number 1. Attention span. Generation Z processes information faster than any other generation, including millennials. They live in a high-tech world of constant updates, and having grown up with access to apps such as Vine and Snapchat, their attention span is likely to be lower than that of millennials. A study showed that while only 4% of millennials and older generations believe 13 is an okay age for owning a smartphone, as high as 18% of Generation Z members think it is an okay age. Number 2. Multitasking. A short attention span is not always a drawback, and what Generation Z lack in focus, they make up for in their multitasking capabilities. Generation Z can work on a school assignment on their computer and do research on their tablet, all while taking notes. And in the evening, they will often sit in front of the TV watching a movie, at the same time chatting with a friend on Facebook from their phone or laptop. It's head-spinning stuff. Number 3. Independent versus collaborative. 71% of Generation Z say they live by the phrase, if you want it done right, then do it yourself. Generation Z tend to be more competitive and will adopt a do-it-yourself mindset in personal or professional activities. And when it comes to workspaces, 69% of Generation Z would rather have their own workspace than share it with others, whereas millennials would opt for a collaborative working environment where they can team up with their colleagues. Number 4. The digital pioneers. 40% of Generation Z say that reliable Wi-Fi is more important than reliable bathrooms. And according to Pew Research, only 14% of US adults had access to the internet in 1995, but by 2014, 87% had access. Millennials saw firsthand how social media revolutionized the way in which we communicate. They were pioneers in the digital age, witnessing the birth of smartphones, instant messaging, and internet searching capability. Generation Z were born into this tech-immersed society and so have a very different perspective. Number 5. Face-to-face or digital chat. All this technology has also had an effect on how these generations differ with communication habits, and 74% of Generation Z say they prefer to communicate face-to-face with colleagues in the workplace. As we just mentioned, millennials pioneered many of the digital communication tools, which revolutionized how we do business. But with Generation Z preferring a more personal approach, maybe they are the ideal generation to strike the right balance between online and offline workplace communication.